If this year of tsunamis, earthquakes, and hurricanes has taught us anything, it's that worst-case scenarios do sometimes happen. Now, with winter upon us, the latest thing to worry about is the avian flu. The World Health Organization calls it the most serious health threat facing the planet, greater than AIDS or tuberculosis. Because humans have no immunity to the virus, and because there are no proven drugs or vaccines to stop it, it has the potential to cause an influenza pandemic similar to the one that killed 50 million people in 1918. It may not happen, but billions of dollars are being spent to sequence its genes, track its movements, and slow its progress in what many people believe could be a race against time. It's called the H5N1 virus, a primitive piece of genetic material so small it can barely be seen under the most powerful microscopes. Like all flu viruses, it is constantly evolving, and every day scientists record the latest changes. Realistically, is the Cambodian government and the Ministry of Health up to that kind of an operation?
At the moment, if it was to happen tomorrow, not yet.
But neither is the rest of the world. If H5N1 were to become highly contagious in humans this winter, it could spread to every country in the world in a matter of months. There is no way that governments, health organizations, and pharmaceutical manufacturers would be able to produce sufficient amounts of the strongest antiviral drugs or vaccines to contain it.
Right now, and we all admit that, right now, if we had an explosion of an H5N1, we would not be prepared for that.
You want to strike that balance where you have effective containment of the contagion without causing neither undue fear in the population nor excessive or undue disruption of social life.
Complicated by the fact that scientists still aren't sure just how dangerous this flu is. On one hand, it has all three hallmarks of a potential pandemic: a unique virus never seen before, easily transmitted from person to person, with a demonstrated ability to kill. On the other hand,
this particular strain seems to be similar to a seasonal influenza. It does not have a notoriously high mortality.
And yet it's proven lethal in neighborhoods like Mexico City's Gustavo Madero. The White House revealed today that an Energy Department official contracted the virus in Mexico while preparing for the president's visit there 2 weeks ago. They say he never came close enough to Mr. Obama to pass it on. The Homeland Security Secretary was asked what her message is to worried Americans.
We can't just say stop everything.
His abiding concern is the politics of Hollywood, which he views as a problem and which he intends to correct. Segment 1, Insanity Chic. Andrew Breitbart, I'm quoting you, in a newspaper interview he gave last year discussing the people who run Hollywood. Quote, yes, quote, I'm telling you they're uninteresting, they're vicious, they're vitriolic, they're really, really not good people, and I'm willing to say that on the record, close quote. The campus left as well. It could be attributed to people who are in charge in Venezuela right now. Anywhere where the left gets control, you start to see political correctness run amok. You start seeing dissenting views quashed. They use projection. Right before they do so, they start attacking the people that they're about to go after of being guilty of the very things that they do.
And the issue of any coordination or collusion with the Trump campaign. That was a terrible disservice to the country and the American people, and represented a reneging on the commitment that was made at the outset of the investigation to follow the facts wherever they lead.
What many people had suspected for a long time has turned out to be true. The DNC secretly chose their nominee over a year before the primary elections even occurred.
You're starting to hear the Republicans, especially Trump calling it the Wuhan or the Chinese coronavirus.
The other thing, Chris, that I think we should point out, at one point during this address, the president referred to the coronavirus as a, quote, foreign virus.
He's doing it to put blame somewhere else. We've seen over the last few days McCarthy and others saying the Chinese coronavirus, the Wuhan coronavirus. We get that.
Tying coronavirus to China and Chinese people isn't just a racist dog whistle. It's a whole racist orchestra. It's a mighty, mighty racist bass tone.
Concern is growing this morning over an outbreak of a new SARS-like virus in China. At least 6 people have died from the Wuhan coronavirus. The Wuhan coronavirus. The Wuhan coronavirus.
The 34-year-old ophthalmologist diagnosed Saturday with the Wuhan coronavirus.
Wuhan virus.
The Wuhan coronavirus.
The Wuhan coronavirus. What more can you tell us about the similarities or differences between SARS and the Wuhan coronavirus?
The Wuhan coronavirus.
The Wuhan coronavirus in China.
The Wuhan coronavirus.
The Wuhan coronavirus. And the Wuhan coronavirus.
Wuhan coronavirus.
Fears continue to grow over the outbreak of the Wuhan coronavirus.
Wuhan coronavirus?
The Wuhan coronavirus. The Wuhan coronavirus. We have new information about how the Wuhan coronavirus is spread.
I hear Stephen Miller in this foreign virus setting up travel bans for the outside invasion of the disease. That's not the way.
The Chinese coronavirus that they've been
that's
calling
not
the first U.S. case of Chinese coronavirus.
The Chinese coronavirus. This is coming as the Chinese coronavirus.
China's coronavirus outbreak.
China's coronavirus.
Outbreak anxiety. The death toll nearly doubles in China's coronavirus outbreak.
China's coronavirus.
Just how bad is China's coronavirus crisis?
China's coronavirus outbreak.
China's coronavirus outbreak.
China's coronavirus outbreak.
China's coronavirus.
China's coronavirus. China's coronavirus.
China's coronavirus.
Concerns about the China coronavirus.
This is no time for Donald Trump's record of hysterical xenophobia.
Yeah, there's no question that if we had not done that in a timely way, there would have been many more travel-related cases from China. And as you know, the outbreak that we're having here in the country, this cases, originated from travel-related cases that came from China, and then we had the issue in Washington State and what we're seeing now in other states. So coming from outside within was the thing that started it. So I think doing that saved us a lot of concern and a lot of suffering, I think.
If I get corona, I get corona. At the end of the day, I'm not going to let it stop me from partying.
Like, it's really messing up with my spring break. What is there to do here other than go to the bars or the beach, and they're closing all of it? It's really messing up. I think they're blowing it way out of proportion. I think it's doing way too much.
I mean, it sucks, but we're going to make the best of it. We're enjoying ourselves. It sucks, and I'm from New Orleans, so this really sucks. However, we're going to enjoy ourselves. We having day parties all day. It's my birthday, St. Patrick's Day. Turn up.
We've been waiting for Miami spring break for a while. About 2 months we've had this trip planned. 2-3 months. So we're just out here having a good time. Whatever happens, happens. With the bars being closed, you know, we'll find alternatives. Unfortunately, it does suck that the bars and restaurants are closed, but we'll find ways out for it.
You're doing us bad. We need a refund. This virus ain't that serious. It's serious. It's more serious things out there like hunger and poverty, and we need to address that.
We're just trying to roll with we're just living for the moment. We're just gonna do what happens when it happens. When stuff closes, we're gonna do it when it closes, but besides that, we're just trying to have the best trip we can. We're just trying to make with what we have right now.
Yeah, I mean, we planned this a long time ago, and it was kind of up in the air if we were gonna still go, but like we're here. I just turned 21 this year, so I'm here to party, so it's kind of disappointing, but we're just making the most of it. We met these other people in our little Airbnb spot, so we're just hanging out with them and trying to get drunk before everything closes.
We have more coronavirus cases than all of the other top 5 countries combined.
Do we? Let's do the math as of April 22nd, the morning after that broadcast.
Spain, 204,178. Italy, 183,957. Germany, 148,455. France, 159,299. And the UK at 130 and 172. That comes to 826,029 versus our 824,438, which means the top 5 countries after America have more cases than we do.
I wonder what you think about whether or not there's some silver lining there, that some of the things that we've been talking about for 3 years may be finally catching up with him.
Did she just now say there is a silver lining?
Silver lining.
Holy Bill Maher.
Can I ask about the economy? Because this economy is going pretty well. We have to, what? Why is that funny?
It is going well for now.
And something I'm very proud of, African American unemployment stands at the lowest rate ever recorded.
The unemployment rate among vets is down to its lowest rate in years.
We have the lowest unemployment rate in over 3 decades.
Unemployment among women has reached the lowest level as of today in 65 years. 65 years.
Really feeling the benefits of the Trump economy, but more so in the Hispanic community than any other right now.
Economy, because this economy is going pretty well. We have to, what? Why is that funny?
It is going well for now.
For now, right. That's my, thank you. That's my question. Is like, I feel like the bottom has to fall out at some point. And by the way, I'm hoping for it because I think one way you get rid of Trump is a crashing economy. So please bring on the recession.
Not only do women like Dr. Ford, who bravely comes forward, need to be heard, but they need to be believed. Guess who's perpetuating all of these kinds of actions? It's the men in this country. And I just want to say to the men in this country, just shut up and step up.
Let me just say right at the outset, I believe Dr. Ford. I believe the survivor.
I believe her. Many, many, many Americans believe her. Many, many women in America who have been taken advantage of certainly believe her.
I believe her because she's telling the truth.
Maybe this country is a lot more racist and sexist than we thought.
These white men, old, by the way, are not protecting women. They're protecting a man who is probably guilty.
Dr. Christine Blasey Ford is a courageous woman.
I want to thank you for your courage, and I want to tell you I believe you.
This sort of establishment left-wing feminist crowd, which is usually all about believe all women and speaking truth to power and standing up to predatory men who use their power imbalance to exploit women, have been oddly silent on this allegation against Joe Biden, which I would have thought is exactly the example of a predatory man using a power imbalance to exploit a young woman. And it's not an insignificant allegation either. It's really terrible what she has alleged he's done. And so the reaction of these feminists, it was so different when Brett Kavanaugh was on the scene, you know, and that was an even older allegation, 36 years old, with even less corroboration than the allegation by Tara Reade against Biden. And yet they were so sure he was guilty and he was a monster, and anyone who disagreed with them was a rape apologist and a misogynist, and there was the hammering on the Supreme Court door, just like ridiculous levels of hysteria over something that had absolutely no proof attached to it whatsoever. But the reason they did that, Andrew, is because it was politically advantageous for them. They were so desperate to damage Donald Trump and so desperate to prevent a conservative majority on the Supreme Court that they were going with torch and pitchforks any which way they could. But with Joe Biden, of course, who is their favorite pick to be president, oh, no, 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 not a word, because that wouldn't help them out politically. It actually could become a problem for Biden, but as you said, not because of anything the mainstream media does. I mean, take the New York Times, for instance. It was jumping all over the Kavanaugh story, but it took 19 days after Tara Reade made that first allegation to even mention anything about it. And that was before any other mainstream. And it was this cold little article sort of analysing the allegation. It was absolutely ridiculous. This allegation has been largely ignored by the establishment left in the mainstream media, which is something they surprisingly have in common with Trump supporters.
So what is it with presidential candidates of the left and sexual assault and the way they get forgiven? I mean, you had Bill Clinton, a Democrat president, accused of rape, yet he survived and thrived, re-elected, defended all the way by the media left. Why is that?
Well, again, Andrew, for the left, it's all about politics. I mean, there were a number of women who accused Bill Clinton of rape. I mean, Juanita Broderick was the most famous one. And she also accused Hillary Clinton of helping Bill cover it up. There's a really quite a scandalous story there. But again, radio silence from the left, and even, you know, on a smaller scale with Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, for instance. I mean, that was consensual, but there was no doubt a power imbalance there as well. But the left was so forgiving of that, and they heaped all the blame onto Monica Lewinsky, ignored the terrible disloyalty of Bill Clinton to Hillary Clinton, and there were feminists at the time who were laughing about it and saying it made them like Bill Clinton even more because they liked the thought of the president, you know, having blood running through his veins. It was really quite perverse. But again, Andrew, these people, they don't actually care about women, they care about politics and power. And the biggest example of that recently is Alyssa Milano. Now, she started the Me Too movement, and she was big on the witch hunt against Kavanaugh, very much believe all women. But not only has she endorsed Joe Biden for president, regardless of this allegation, she went on a podcast, get this, Andrew, a couple of weeks ago and said that she believed in due process, that she hated the thought of innocent men having their lives ruined.
Now it occurs to her.
I know, and the other thing she said was every allegation had to be vetted stringently. I thought, well, this is news to me. I guess it's different when it's a guy you like, Alyssa.